Welcome, dear friends, to Kardec Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the spirit of truth. This group of illuminated minds that come from the beyond. They come from the very plane of the governance, and amongst them, Luiz. Through Waldo, Vieira and Chico Xavier, two mediums, 60 years later. 60 years later, here we are. What a blessing. And God bless those who helped translate this book, because it's a blessing for all of us, especially during this pandemic. We need the truth, because often we are unaware of the truth. And that's why we make choices that are not appropriate, because we decoded life in ways that were not corresponded to what it is. Luiz, inspired by Lazar, a spirit friend, at Kardec's time in 1861, chapter 9, Blessed are the meek and peacemakers. Affability and meekness. It talks about benevolence, the fruit of love. It talks about kindness. It talks about caring. Where are we in that regard? Because often we think that people, just because they're smiling, they don't need kindness. But think of the hardships of doing the good on earth. The people who do the good are the ones who need more help. Because if they're not strong to sustain it, what's going to happen with the work of the good? Often we think exclusivist, we're very exclusivist thinking. When I am the one, the missionary, then I'm going to help. It doesn't happen that way. It's the reverse. When I help others, I fulfill my mission. Our mission is to be here supporting each other. Look at the trees, look at the animals, look at the flowers, look at the plants. They are here to help us, and we are here to help one another. And Luiz often brings to us new awareness, and he says, if you think, let's think what he's saying we're thinking, right? He says, you say that the word of your companion is too aggressive. But if you think of the scathing phrases that come out of the mouth, not even lightly will you bring up the subject. So true. There are things we don't even comment because it's beyond outrageous. You say that the friend made a serious mistake, but if you think about the biggest crimes that you did not commit, simply because of an escaped opportunity, you find no cause for accusation. How often do we say things that are hurtful? How often we don't do things that are problematic because we miss the opportunity? Because if it were right here in front of us, we would do it. Freud explains it to us. We need to know who we truly are. Who are we? Who are we? Right? You say you've suffered a heavy offense, but if you think about how many times you have hurt others, you will forget other people's faults. There you go. I don't know, but it's true. We hurt people without noticing, often. Sometimes we notice it and we regret. Sometimes we don't even notice it. And there people are suffering because of us. You say that you no longer support the work that family members impose on your time. But if you think about the inconveniences that your existence has demanded on them all, you will not have pleasure in complaining. True. We think we are blessing people's lives, right? But we don't realize sometimes the burdens we impose on people. Isn't Andre Luiz telling us that so we feel bad about ourselves? No, no. He's helping us with a new technique, one that we don't know how to use. Today, you and I are being asked to revisit the possibility of dealing with our problems in a different way. And he continues to make sure that we understand this new approach in life. You say that your sacrifices are too great in favor of others, but if you think about the lives that die daily so that you have abundance on your table, you certainly speak no more about it. Oh, Vanessa, who is dying because of me? I don't know. Sometimes we use diamonds, right? And how many people died in the course of events? Jewelry, clothes. We buy cheap clothes and we think, whoa, I'm doing a great thing. And we barely know the lives that were lost in the production of those clothes. We don't know. The drama of people. You say that your needs are invincible. However, if you think of the privations of those who would infinitely be happy with the remains of your home, you would no longer complain. There you go. You and I are being asked to revisit what we have because we have so much things that in other people's homes would be so important. So let us then look around and see how we can help. You say you cannot help with charity because of a headache. But if you think of those who lie in the hospital bed begging for a moment of relief, you will not delay your help, your assistance. You say you do not have time for the cultivation of charity. If you think about the 1,440 minutes that you have every day to live on earth, you will not hide in such an excuse. In every matter of fault and forgiveness, let us not dwell on others. Let us think ourselves, and we will prefer to remain silent, extinguishing evil. So Andre Luiz brings to us a great technique. He says, okay, Virginia, you want to join us. Let's see what Andre Luiz is going to teach us. He knows more than we do. So first of all, he's teaching us the fact that when somebody hurt us, when we feel at disadvantage, we need to think not at those who have less problems, but of those who have more problems. Leon Denis, when he talks about charity, he says it's about looking down. What is to look down? Is to look for others who are in greater need than us. Do we do that? No, because somebody calls us and say, I'm doing great. And then we're like, oh, poor me, right? No, we're going to think of the people who are in greater need. Chico Xavier often went through this. People who would look down on him, but he would never refrain from helping because he always looked forward to helping the people who needed more than he did. And the other technique that Andre Luiz is using is counting the time to be useful. Mentor Joseph once said to us, if you think you're doing great at helping others, calculate how many hours you use to do the good. So here's Andre Luiz with precision talking about 1,440 minutes. Okay, 1,440 minutes a day. And then people say, I don't have a minute to do the good. Sometimes, right? And sometimes just a prayer. And it's like, oh, I'm too busy. I'm busy doing this, that, and the other. But then there is a loved one who is at home in need of help. And we don't stop what we're doing to help that person. Or a neighbor, or somebody elsewhere.
Or a friend, or somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
Or everybody with the COVID.
Right. So here he is giving us a measurement, 2 steps, maximizing the use of time and at the same time focusing on the needs of those who are in greater need than us. So in the next 24 hours, you and I are being asked, to not dwell on people's shortcomings, but think of how to maximize the good. So in the next 24 hours, you and I are going to maximize the good. Use our time wisely, thinking of the needs of others, and at the same time, maximizing the good thinking of those who need more help than us. Maybe we have a headache, maybe we have a cold, or even COVID, but we're not going to stop, because if we stop, the person who is in greater need is not going to receive the help that they need. Right, Virginia?
Even though if you have something really big, don't don't get selfish about yourself, because it's always better to look at others.
Yes. So that's the beautiful invitation of today. He trains us to look at life in a different angle, bifocal lenses. André Luz is empowering you and I to extinguish evil by maximizing the good. We need to learn it, and this is the opportunity. 24 hours thinking about what else can we do to maximize the good. Praying, saying good things, helping somebody, and believing in the good. That's all it is. So we want to meditate on this, deepen our understanding, and absorb the technique. Absorb the technique. It's a new way of feeling life. It's a new way of reaching out to people. Not when we're good, but when we're not so good, and we still do it. In every matter of fault and forgiveness, let us not dwell on others. Let us think of extinguishing evil by focusing on the good that we can do. If somebody's not being kind, that's their problem, but I'll be kind, right? Be kind when everybody's kind is easy, but be kind when people are not kind.
Especially when they're not kind.
That's when we're making a difference. Right, Virginia? So we want to thank you for being here with us. We want to thank Chico, Xavier, Waldo, Vieira. We want to thank André Luiz for this message that brings to us new life. Let us rejoice today and always, because here at Cardiac Radio, we are always, Virginia, nourishing our souls. Thank you, friends.